All right, hello and welcome to episode 2 of Casuals Yapping About Games, or CYAG for our friends out there. And it is April 1st, and I am here, one of your hosts. My name is Andre. I like to talk about video games, and today, it's not an April Fool's joke. I am here with my good friend, Justin, your other co-host. Justin, how are you today?
I'm fantastic. I actually have, for the most part, steered clear of all of the chicanery that happens mostly on my Twitter feed on April Fool's Day, or, better known, I guess, as April 1st. I didn't see anything. And I am actually thankful for it because from my point of view, maybe I'm at that stage of I'm like the get off my lawn
oh, no.
man.
I am so there with you.
I'm done with this shit.
Yes, I looked at my phone this morning and I was about to go on Twitter and I remembered, oh, it's April 1st. And I was like, You know what? I don't have the patience for it's no time for this bullshit today. No, I have also kind of steered clear. I saw a couple things, but nothing that was even remotely good or funny. It was just like, it also seems like a lot of people are like, this is not the year for an April.
Is kind of crumbling at the moment.
Exactly. It's not the right time, folks. Kit Kat, It's not the right time for an April Fool's joke.
The Room.
Yes, exactly. Very good. Read the Room.
There was one. I did see one, and I want to say it was from Game Informer, which, hey, okay, they've got, theirs has been going for decades at this point. So they're not some Johnny or Judy come latelys to the April Fool's game. They put that shit in print back in the day, in terms of Game Parser. So like, if I'm going to give it to anybody, I'll give it to them. But they did put out one, and it was something like, live service game, goes live and gets canceled in the middle of us releasing this article or something like that. And I was just like, oh, okay, that's
not just an April Fool's joke. That could be true.
Yeah, that is definitely true. If you're in the case of Concord, I mean, I feel like that game even up long enough for me to download it. Back in the day,
true,
you might not have been able to download that game before it got canceled because
100%
that massive mega game. So but Andre, I'm very excited to be with you today.
Me too.
Yapping about video games. We got so many things to chat about.
Jesus Christ,
in this
yes.
episode. I'm going to come out with the first one, and the last 2 episodes we've done this thing where it's kind of like throwback questions, like what was your lore, what was your origin story that coming into gaming, as a way of getting to know us better for anybody listening or watching out there. But this time I have a forward-thinking question that I want to pose to you, as well as myself, but I also think that this type of question will more or less tell you what type of gamer we are as well, in some form or fashion. So the question is this, Andre: what upcoming game are you most excited to play?
Oh, that is a great question. Holy
There's
shit.
so many great games coming. And by the way, I'm going to keep this to short term. So I'm going to say within the next 3 months.
What if I told you that my mind is completely drawing a blank and I don't even know, besides the obvious big hitters, which I'm really not interested in, like the GTA 6s and I don't know, Final Fantasies that have been in. I don't know, Final Fantasy's not been announced. I don't think I have anything in my horizon. I'll tell you what I had. Remember, it was Slay the Spire 2. I had that in my sights for a long time. Yes. That came out this year. It is a lot of fun. I'm very happy. That has kind of given me, that and Resident Evil 9 have kind of given me like such a nice feeling of like, oh man, these games that I was kind of waiting to come out have come out and they're good. Yeah. And they sold well. They're not going to get shut down. Like, my heart is full. Yeah, exactly. My heart is full. So like, I haven't even looked further. You know what I mean? Like I haven't even looked further for something else now to look forward to. It's actually a time where I'm kind of content, and we'll get into it on what we've been playing later in this episode that will maybe give you some context. But yeah, that's the thing. I can't even think of a game right now. And maybe you'll say one and I'll be like, oh yeah, of course. But But as of right now, I can't even think of anything. I feel content with a lot of the stuff that came out, late last year, like Arc Raiders. And this year, again, like Resident Evil, Slay the Spire, Mutagenics, like, dude, so many good games, right?
You're like, I'm happy over here. I
I'm
got all the
kinda
games
happy.
I could ever need.
A little bit. So I don't even know what to answer. What about you, though?
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I feel like
State of the
that's
K3.
Well, yes, State of Decay 3, but who knows when that's going to come out. We may get into conversations about that later. But no, so right now, my eyes are set to April 30th.
Oh,
There's a little game
this year
coming out on April 30th of this year that I'm super excited about, and it is Saros. So
Saros with our boy Rahul Kohli, right?
Rahul Kohli, yes, exactly, yes. I think the reason. Oh, what were you saying?
I was just gonna say that even, and you know this audience might not. Not a huge fan of Returnal.
Yes,
I
know
tried
that you're
it,
not a huge fan of Returnal, yeah.
which is weird because you know me, I'm the roguelike guy. I like
I
shooters.
would have expected you to love it, but I feel like you're
maybe I need to give it another chance.
And you like the 2D.
No. Because listen, I love shooters. You know me, third person shooters. That's our jam. We both share that. We have that in common.
Yes.
So technically, that game has all the right ingredients for me to be happy with it. Maybe I need to give it another chance.
How did you play it? Like, I'm curious because I know that you got a PS5
in 2023, 4?
Oh,
no,
okay.
2024.
A little bit.
Yeah, very recent. And I did try it when I got it. It was then. Maybe it was the whole fucking fever of having both, Demon Souls and that, and all the big. Well, not all the big. There was not a lot, but the at that time, 2024, like the games on PS5 you had to try out, right? And because as I said, I booked that PlayStation Plus Premium immediately to get access to everything. So I had a lot to choose from. So there could have been a scenario where I was not entirely happy with how Returnal was going, and I didn't invest a lot of time into it. That I remember very clearly. I probably had like 2 or 3 hours playtime, and that probably is not enough to get that full loop.
You're getting the core gameplay loop in those 2 to 3 hours, though, for sure. I think full disclosure, I did not beat Returnal. Like, there was no way in hell I was going to beat the damn game. I did play it. For me, again, I am the casual in casuals yapping about games, no doubt about it. I probably logged about 15 to 20 hours. Somewhere in there, I could go back and look and be like, oh, you played this game for 30 hours. I would be highly surprised, but I felt like I put a solid amount of time into the game. I was not I'm not a Housemarque fan or stan, if you will. Like, I respect the games that they put out into the gaming space over the last couple of at least decades at this point. Because Returnal came out in 2021.
Wasn't it a launch? Wasn't it launch?
I don't think it was. No, it wasn't a launch game. It came out right after launch. It came out. I think it came out in the same time frame, about March or April of 2021. Because the PS5 launched in that October, November timeframe. But I was super excited about that game upon the initial release. And at this time, I was working at GameStop, actually, marketing the PlayStation games to the GameStop audience. And this is when I was I'm telling all the salespeople, I'm like, this game's about to blow up. Y'all need to buy more of them. And they're like, Justin, you're ridiculous. This is some indie style game. It's not like a big system seller. And I was like, whatever, get out of my face. I don't actually know if it sold that many copies.
I think it sold decently well.
It definitely sold enough to get a sequel. Sony says, hey, we're going to greenlight a sequel. Now, granted, this was a different time for Sony, I think. I think they've been kind of fucking up over the last couple of years.
This is probably an investment that was made.
Greenlighting?
Yeah, this is probably made in 2023 and 4, perhaps.
No, I'd say 2020, probably 2021. I think as soon as they got the numbers back, initial sales, they were like, "Hey, we're going to greenlight it." And of course, not getting too deep into this, but Housemarque did the thing that all game developers, in my opinion, should do. They don't try and reinvent the wheel with their sequel. They just take the core elements that were great and expand upon those answer, like resolve some of those pain points or points of friction that the players actually had, which the biggest one, which I don't know if this was relatable to you, in Returnal, the runs would last too long. I'm like, I got 30 minutes that I can sit down and play.
Right.
And if it's just like I can't even get one run in within that 30 minutes. Now, granted, if I sucked and I died, or if I hit some crazy boss like in the opening level, like of my run,
Right.
sure, maybe I get 2 runs in. But the majority of the time, especially as I played the game longer and longer, and I was getting to those different biomes in my same run, and I couldn't pause, couldn't save. There was none of that when I played the game. I don't know if it exists there today, but for me, that is ultimately the reason why I lost interest, even though I loved the hell out of that bullet hell gameplay. Yes, I fell off, and the story. It involved the the main character. Her name was Celine, and it definitely had some kind of like alien vibes to it. Like all of the environments, the biomes, they had that like is it Robert Geiger? I forget his first name, but like Geiger is the
H.R.
one that
Geiger?
like did all the sorry, H.R. Geiger.
Yeah,
They did all the
a
designs
lot of that
for like
vibe.
the world of Alien, Prometheus, all that stuff. It has so much of that vibe. But right now, Saros is getting all of these gameplay previews right now, and I am just eating them up. I think I've watched 3 of them today, and everybody's talking about how, again, like what I mentioned, it's not this complete reinvention of like the Returnal formula, but it's an expansion on the formula, and it's bringing a lot of elements that I think, for one, it does have autosave, which again, I get it. Maybe somebody's out there, they're like, well, that cheapens the experience. Like, it's supposed to be hard. I get that. The gameplay itself is challenging enough. The bosses and all of the things within the game is challenging enough. It does have that. And then you can also start a run after you've, like, say you complete the first 2 biomes and you want to start a run on the 3rd biome, you're good to go. You can do that. You can start the run on that 3rd biome. Now,
That makes
granted,
sense.
just like with other roguelike games, you're not going to get to that biome powered up to a certain
you're
level.
starting probably from scratch, so you're going to be weaker. It's going to be more dangerous. It's a risk reward.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah. That leaves it up to you, which is great.
Yes.
I like that agency.
I love that, because if I'm having troubles with the 3rd biome, or like, for example, and I'm like, man, every time I get to the 3rd biome, like this is what's tripping me up, which again, I know like within the confines of the game, it does change things up in terms of like maybe which enemy types you may see at the beginning, whatever. But generally, like, it still has like elements that you're going to run into in that biome every single time. It just depends on which room they may be in. And so for me, I can like refine. I'm like, okay, cool. Like,
you can go and practice, basically.
Yes. It's basically practice.
This run is just for me to understand. It's just for me to feel it out, right? This one doesn't count. This is not the run. Right?
It's not the run. And the leveling system in the game, from everything that I've been listening to, from I watched Skill Ups, which was it was Austin that provided the preview recap, and then I watched Kind of Funnies, which was Andy and Roger, I think is the guy's name. They were the ones that were invited, and I watched one other one. It was a shorter one, and they all praised the leveling system, where I think one of the taglines is "Come back stronger," in all the trailers and everything. And so, you're carrying over like these skills, like a skill tree, into each and every run, so you can get stronger.
Yeah, the permanent upgrades are.
Yes, the permanent upgrades are there. Which
sometimes on roguelikes you can have the permanent upgrade part of what you get out of a run not be that impactful. So it doesn't feel like you got, and then some roguelikes go heavy on that, where it's like, hey, no, because you are playing, you are getting stronger, Yes. And I'm someone who does love that. Like, again, but I like it. Slay the Spire 2, it's like my direct correlation right now is the same deal, where those upgrades, what I am unlocking to then build even better builds, that's what keeps me rolling. So I get how that can be.
Did it have the... Like, I understand, like, you're unlocking new cards and things like that.
New cards, new relics. And it's just unlocking your ability to make crazier builds, different builds, or go even deeper into a build that you might have done already, right? It's just more cards or more relics that just double down on whatever you're doing. It's just more options, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, but I totally get how, for me at least, that's one of the draws of roguelikes. It's like, I want to, like Hades, I want to feel stronger in my long run. When I go back, I want to, not only because skill wise I'm better, hopefully, but also something to show for it, right? Like even if it's skills, or like you say, like a skill tree that has benefits, even if it's just stats, right? Something that is tangible. I feel like that's super important. If you fuck that up in a roguelike, it can draw the player away. Back. Yeah, you don't want to keep going back, right? So that's good.
I'm excited.
I love the vibe so far of everything I've saw of that game. That's the thing. I might have not gelled with the vibe and the visual aesthetics of the first one, but this one feels a little bit different, and I'm maybe digging more of that. It's probably because it's a male protagonist and I'm just a chauvinist, so you know. Finally a male protagonist.
You're like, I like what I like. Yes, we're back
Finally playing a man.
No, I mean, I do. We both do love Raul Coley.
I mean,
so
yes,
that definitely that adds a lot, just in terms of like I want to
wanting to see his performance, and
and I want to support him, and like and Housemarque, I love to support them. And this may be controversial to say.
Oh no,
and I don't mean to say it. Well, I mean, we've already.
It's April Fool's, guys. This is a joke, and just know that in advance. Don't cancel us, please.
No, it's not. It's not on that level.
Okay,
but and
just
what I ultimately feel is that I don't know how much this game costs to make. It's a very beautiful game. You know, all of the production values I would say are on a pretty high bar. But that being said, I feel like if you price this game at $40,
ooh, that would be
instant
mint
buy for so many people. Yeah, like I just feel like it would be like a day one buy. Now I understand. I mean, again, I'm not trying to
be a much less
the value, the purchasing choice or decision.
It's just a lesser barrier of entry. It's like, because if you see $40 for that game, and if you know anything about Returnal, like, I mean,
you'd be like, all right, I'm sold.
Yeah, it automatically. Also, there's nothing else coming out right now, right? There's nothing else big that would take that spot, I believe.
I think the next big game, which again, I mean, if I'm going in order, Saros is first, and then 007 First Light would be my second.
But I feel like those are so they're different specters of gaming that they don't affect each other, right? In my opinion,
and that's why I feel like that $40 price point would be like, I'm gonna get both of them.
Is it at 40? No, it's like confirmed. It's not.
It's $70. Yeah, it's 70. Yeah, and I think that was what was tough for Returnal, because it was a new IP.
Yeah.
It was from a developer that, if you did do any research, you're like, they don't have a pedigree in like
this type of
big
game, right?
budget, blockbuster style games. Obviously, they showed everybody that, hey, they did have the stuff.
Yep.
Regardless of like whether you liked it or not, you would all agree that's like, oh, this looked pretty damn good, and like the gameplay was solid.
Yeah.
The cutscenes, everything was great. It was very cinematic. But yeah, Saros, that's what I'm looking forward to on April 30th. We'll see if it's a day one buy for me. I don't know, because I am being a little bit choosier lately with the games that I invest money in, because I'm like, am I going to play to beat them immediately? And if not, then I'm going to hold off and try something else. So
that's smart, because like, again, why buy a game to just let it pick up dust in your library, right?
I've got a lot of games that picked up dust over the decades.
Exactly. Our backlog just keeps growing, and it's not like we got more time, right? So I totally get that. That's just smart. We should all do that. All do that. But good answer. Cool. I think you kind of just sold me a little bit on at least keeping a closer eye on this, because I was already kind of peaked. Because of the visual aesthetic. Like, I feel like the vibe of that game attracts me more than the first one, and I have no idea why. But just from what I've seen. And so, but now that you're kind of reeled me in a little bit, so I'll definitely
and they have tried to address the a lot of people were like, the story just didn't really pull me in, because the story was certainly secondary to the gameplay, as it should be. Like,
as it
should
usually
be
is in a roguelike, to be
yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have leveled up their storytelling within the second game. I've heard varying responses to how well it has resonated with them, which again, I think a lot of the early previews, they only got to play up until the second biome, I believe.
Okay.
I don't think anybody got into the third biome. I could be wrong on that. So they weren't getting really deep into it, but they did say that the storytelling, and props to Raul Coley, like they were saying that it was really propelled by his performance in the game, which is great. I love to hear that.
See, this might be a game that I end up watching someone play, which I am totally okay with, because some experiences for me now are that, and I have now accepted that some games I don't need to play, and I can just enjoy watching somebody else have a good time with it. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. Cool. All right. Well, Andre, I think it's time to get into the news block of the podcast.
I think you should start with your now potentially famous, at least for me, catchphrase, because I just love it so much.
So we definitely did not plan this, because when we had visions and ideas of this podcast, we're like, yeah, we want to talk about gaming news. Of course we do. We want to respond to like what's happening within the industry, like what cool stuff is going down. But unfortunately, like over the first two podcast episodes, there's been a lot of bad news. So we've coined the phrase, the games are good, the news is bad.
And until that changes, we're going to keep it.
Yes. So in today's segment of the games are good, the news is bad, I'm going to do a quick rundown of studio layoffs. You think, we just podcasted 2 weeks ago. How many can there be?
That's what surprises me, is the amount. Yes. Please.
Yeah, it's the amount. And I don't think actually I'm covering all of them, but I'm going with the heavy hitters
even
that
more
we're all familiar with. Yes. Okay. Ubisoft is ending game development at historic Tom Clancy game studio Red Storm Entertainment, resulting in the loss of 105 jobs. Crystal Dynamics announces more layoffs, remains fully committed to its new Tomb Raider projects, which, in case anybody has forgotten, they're supposedly releasing a Tomb Raider remake this year, and then a brand new Tomb Raider experience in 2027.
Which I think we have not seen. Yeah, we have not seen a lot or anything almost from either.
We saw 2 trailers. We saw since then there hasn't been anything. But that was what's so crazy to me to hear about these layoffs, because they dropped those trailers. Like, I mean, it kind of blew my mind, because we haven't seen something like that in a very long time, where a game studio is like, hey, we got a new game coming out, and oh, by the way, another one coming out the year right afterward. That doesn't happen in the world of video games anymore. It rarely even happens in the world of like film and TV shows these days.
You have one project, and usually that's it, right?
Yes. You get a TV show season in 2025, and then season 2 is in 28.
Yeah, we'll handle that when we get there.
Happened. Yeah, exactly. So that's Crystal Dynamics. And then Eidos Montreal, they have also made layoffs, affecting 124 workers. David N. Fossey, the head of the studio for the last 13 years, will also depart. And wrapped up in all of that Eidos Montreal was apparently a game that I never heard of, but it was a quadruple A video game that was now been canceled, called Wildlands.
Wildlands, yeah.
And supposedly this game has been in development since 2019. It has an open world third person action adventure game. The budget exceeded hundreds of millions of dollars. 4 different game engines were used during development. Like, what the hell is happening, guys?
This is what you can easily see as development hell, like that alone, right? Balloon budget started in 2019. We know how the economic situation in 2019 was, and then coming into 2020, probably got even more funding at that time, because again, a quadruple A project, right? And again, look at all those keywords: open world, right? Third person, action adventure. It was, again, one of those big hitters, one of those, what you expected out of the AAA studio, right? The big budget, cinematic, adventure, huge, completely ballooned out of scope. And so I mean,
Yes.
it's unfortunate that everything that's been happening in the industry keeps holding up the mirror and showing, hey, listen, I think what we need to do now, and it's not ideal, but what we need to do now is take that idea of we need to focus on smaller, quicker, cheaper projects like the indie industry is doing, and be able to ship those those while the teams are still employed and able to, see their games published and selling and reviewed and through all of that process, right? Because we just keep getting shown that these big projects, these multi-year, multi-million-dollar budget projects right now are really difficult for any of these companies to sustain, right?
Yeah, not sustainable at all.
I don't know. I don't know how many more news of this ilk are going to keep coming out until maybe, the Sony's first party studios and the Microsoft first party start to perhaps change their tune.
Somebody's going to have to rein the studios in terms of like development creep and in terms of
just smaller projects. That's the thing.
Well, even if and I'm some gamers out there may get pissed about this.
Oh, 100%. If you're telling someone, hey, for the next 4 years, we're not going to get another GTA or another Crimson Desert, right? We're going to have smaller experiences, shorter, cheaper as well for you, the end user. But
that's where I was going with it. Was like, hey, we all paid full price for Uncharted 1, 2, and 3, and those games came out like clockwork basically every 2 years.
True. Yes.
And we were eating it up to pay full price. And that's what I'm saying is like, instead of an Uncharted 5 being 40 freaking hours, why isn't
make it
an
20.
Uncharted 5 15 to 20 hours? And Uncharted 6 is the back half. I mean, like, I don't care. Like, I would rather get new experiences every couple of years in those worlds that I have grown to love, or if they're new experiences that they want to tell. Like, Eidos Montreal has, for me personally, made one of the best single player gaming experiences of the last decade for me in Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. That game was so damn fun. The writing was brilliant. The gameplay was fun enough. Like, I wasn't playing that necessarily for the gameplay, but the gameplay was good.
It was fun. Yeah. I got to try it out on Game Pass, and I was surprised. I was surprised at how how it underappreciated has kind of gone. I mean, a lot of people have tried to sing his praises, which is great ever since it came out, but
commercially
it did not do well. It flopped, which is a shame.
And they had Marvel's Avengers right up. I was so curious because I'm like, ooh,
probably a little bit of Marvel fatigue.
And then like Marvel's Avengers was whack, and so I was worried.
Yeah, but look at the marketing. Look at the marketing budgets probably for those two, and how much Marvel Avengers spent, because like we saw that everywhere.
Yes. They ate all the money up, and it was unfortunate because it should have been dedicated to Guardians of the Galaxy.
It should have been flipped.
I did want to tell you. So just as an extra, like, knife to the heart. Due to the massive losses during the development of this quadruple A Wildlands game, a Deus Ex game was also canceled in 2024 because of that. So so the Deus Ex fans out there, they're like, man, we got a brilliant last, and Deus Ex Mankind Divided was like a critical, I don't know if it was a commercial success, but critically beloved. That's the last one we got, 2016.
I mean, a lot of the original Deus Ex fans were not incredibly happy with how, because Deus Ex was a huge immersive sim where you had a lot of choice in how you did things, and 2 was a little bit more linear and not really in the same spirit as 1. So there was definitely a crowd of Deus Ex fans who were kind of, can we get another one, but can we make it go back to the roots? And now knowing that there was a project and it was canned, I feel for the Deus Ex community, for fans. I definitely feel for them. I'm one of them. Maybe not the most flared up fan.
Well,
but
now they're like, it's like that franchise is like a relic of a bygone era of gaming.
It is.
Like, I mean, you talk to like the average gamer that like they play Fortnite or FIFA or Call of Duty. They're like, what is Deus Ex?
And the funny part is that if I'm not mistaken, a remaster of the first Deus Ex was announced fairly recently. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I could be. I don't think I dreamt this, but in one of the showcases, either not the Game Awards probably, but like recently, I remember them announcing a first Deus Ex, just not a complete remake, just a remaster, so it can be launched on current platforms because it's an old game. And now to know that, I'm hoping that's still coming out, or has it come out? I don't know, but knowing that, it's just a shame.
I would like to go back and play Deus Ex, like the Mankind Divided. I know, like you're like, hey, it's for the purists out there.
It's fun. It's a fun game.
It looked interesting. That I was most intrigued by the story and the world. In that game, but I'd never played Deus Ex games. So, but again, R.I.P. to that canceled game due to Eidos Montreal's development of Wildlands. So, okay, that was the quick rundown.
But now we get into the big I know.
No, it's not over. The hits just keep on coming. So a couple weeks ago, I think it may have been last week. I don't know.
It was last episode. Yes.
Literally. Epic Games put out a statement, and it read, the title was just "Today's Layoffs," and it says, "This note was sent to Epic employees today. Today we're laying off over 1,000 employees. I'm sorry we're here again." I'm like, damn. I laugh. It's not funny. I think you're laughing because it's just almost surreal to read it. Like imagining if you were one of the Epic employees receiving this message and reading those first two lines, and you're affected. I can only imagine. Sorry, we're here again.
What? Yeah. It's kind of
nuts. The downturn in Fortnite engagement that started in 2025 means we're spending significantly more than we're making, and we have to make major cuts to keep the company funded. This layoff, together with over $500 million of identified cost savings in contracting, marketing, and closing some open roles, puts us in a more stable place. And it does go on to say, since it's a thing now, I should note that the layoffs aren't related to AI. To the extent it improves productivity, we want to have as many awesome developers developing great content and tech as we can. And this also came with a couple of basically removing some modes. They're going offline permanently. Rocket Racing, Ballistic. I some of these I'm like, what are these modes?
So Rocket Racing, I don't know if you were familiar. So Rocket Racing was a racing mode inspired and based on Rocket League. I don't know if it was made by Psyonix, as in like developed in-house, or if it was done by somebody else, but it was using the Rocket League assets, and it was Rocket Racing. It was a racing game with the Rocket League cars and all that aesthetic. Ballistic was a attempt of a Fortnite mode, which was kind of like CSGO. It was a competitive, tactical, round-based shooter. And then the other mode, I believe, is Fortnite Festival Battle mode or something like that. Yeah, which was a supposedly multiplayer versus version.
It was like Guitar Hero.
It's like versus Guitar Hero multiplayer. That's gone. Now let's do the funny bit. Let's do the funny bit of 2 weeks before this announcement came out of layoffs. We talked about this news here on the last episode, if I'm not mistaken, where Epic announced the increase of the purchase price of V-Bucks within Fortnite. And it claimed basically, and again, I remember this very clearly because we were able to joke and say it was a direct quote, because it is. It was just to help pay the bills. And if I am not mistaken, keep the lights on. If I'm not mistaken, you said that jokingly you said, okay, let's just wait in a month to see if they're going to be layoffs or not. And not even a month later,
No.
We are hit with massive layoffs at Epic. So like, what is this? This is just insanity again.
That's where I the way I look at it, I mean, I want to go down the list of the of the various article titles in a second. The thing about all of this to me is like, for those that maybe, haven't been around, Fortnite came out in 2013.
True.
And the game originally was a tower defense style game, and that flopped immediately. And
it
by
was
the
in
way,
development for years, by the way.
for
It was in
years.
it was I remember seeing people talk about this game back then, and it was supposedly the second coming of Christ. It was going to be one of the best games of all time. It was 100%. In development for so many years, and behind closed doors, it was hush hush, and Fortnite. And then it came out, just like you said, flopped because it was
flopped hard. And I mean, by the way, I enjoyed it. I don't
think I've ever actually tried that mode. What was it called?
It was Fortnite Survival or something.
Something like that. Eventually they made a name for it. Yeah.
Yeah, they had a and actually maybe it was just Fortnite at the time. I don't know.
It was, but then once the Battle Royale thing came out, I think they named it something else just to
to separate the two.
And to keep the Fortnite brand on the thing that was actually making the money.
Yeah, that was making the money. And so I only say this to say that that game came out and it was a $40 priced video game for Fortnite. Flopped hard. They were not getting the players that they needed to make the game a success. This was at the peak of, maybe not the peak, but a peak of PUBG's popularity at the time.
Oh yes.
And they put out a tweet, I think, at the time, and they were like, "We love PUBG over here at Epic. We love it so much that we recreated our own version of a battle royale in Fortnite." And then within overnight, I mean, just massive, install base of players.
Oh yeah,
so many people were streaming it. That's how Ninja basically got mega famous. Was
so many people.
Yeah, lots of other people.
Yes.
But so that game came out in 2013. It was free to play. It made bukus and bukus of cash.
Oh yes.
For the last 13 years, and while I understand that like development costs more, and I mean like I will give all the props to Epic in terms of, well, I just want to say all the props to them in terms of, man, they had that content factory rolling in terms of like the development of how much new shit that they were bringing to the game. So I do know that they had to have spent a lot of money on developers. They had to have massive amounts of developers, and it sucks because like at some point you're going to run into a spot where you're not seeing more players come in. The returns are not as great. You got diminishing returns. And so I understand it in that aspect.
They hate that. CEOs hate diminishing returns.
Well, you did see, so it's like an old famous, callback that everybody brings in, and where it's like when Nintendo was seeing like profits decline and they were doing poorly, and like the CEO of Nintendo at the time, I want to say it was Iwata,
I think
maybe
so.
And
or was it Miyamoto?
It could have, no, it wasn't Miyamoto. No, I think it was Iwata. Like,
it was Iwata. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And he famously like took a big pay cut.
I think him and more executives took pay cuts in order to keep the company.
It was like the full like C-suite
yeah.
took pay cuts in order to keep employees and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, you did not see that with Tim Sweeney, which
you don't see that with most Western studios, I think, because
studios, yes.
And in the same vein, which is funny, is this is I've seen two stories like this where I believe it's Capcom and Atlas.
Konami. Konami is given they're boosting their salaries
exactly
for 2026.
Exactly where they're sharing the wealth and giving raises to their devs in their studios, and complete opposite of what we're seeing here. So just for you out there, keep that in mind. See how it is possible. It's just that apparently our Western studios decide that that's not, just the number should just go up.
Yeah, the
Please,
number
please.
must go. But that's what's crazy is like Epic is not a publicly traded company. They're private. So that's what's
It's a
even crazier to
disease.
me is like
It's a
no,
disease. You get so used to seeing that number go up. You imagine
yes.
how much that Fortnite growth and revenue, right? That must have been seen throughout those golden years. And
Yeah,
then when you start hitting the plateau, because that's expected. No game has always gone up. Look at World of Warcraft. Look at StarCraft. Look at any game that's been around for years and years and years. Those graphs, those numbers, those player bases, that revenue is a roller coaster.
Age out.
Of
mean,
course,
for a lot of time.
of course.
Yeah.
But it seems that the big studios, big companies, have not yet understood or accepted that that's just the reality. And in order to just, or that, how lucky are they to just have a game, in this case, a live service game that is healthy, that has a very, very healthy player base and revenue stream of that's just sustaining itself. And again, they're just chasing that growth. It seems like being content with what you have is definitely not in the playbook for most of these companies. And that's what I don't understand, especially looking at how the world is today. Having a Fortnite, seeing all these other studios getting shut down, projects canceled, live service games getting shut down 2 weeks into their life. And you have this engine, right? This massive engine that, while not at its peak anymore, still attracts a huge amount of hours and eyeballs all across the world. And still, you are not happy. This is the problem, I think. This is the inherent problem.
You're not safe as like
you are not safe.
That worked at this company, you would think like, I work at Epic. I'm minted. I've never gone,
listen, this is it. You are 100% right, because I've had that conversation. I met someone who didn't even work directly for Epic, worked for a company that did publishing for Epic, for Fortnite. And the way they described their job was fantastic. They were like, I have all this leeway. I have all this budget. We are doing things to bring events to players. And they were investing heavily into Fortnite. And I totally get that. But not understanding that at some point, the golden goose is not going to keep going up. Because people evolve. The changes of, not changes, but gamers, let's call them gamers. It just evolves. You jump from game to game. Fortnite is an extremely social multiplayer game. Sometimes your friend group finds another thing to play, and then maybe for the next 3 months, you don't touch Fortnite. I have a perfect example at home. My kid, my 18-year-old kid, this week that he's on vacation, the other night just came to me and said, you know what I'm playing right now? And I was like, what? Me and the boys just jumped back on Fortnite, and we're playing OG Fortnite, and we're having a lot of fun. They haven't touched it in months. Yeah. This is the reality. As if those studios would just understand that if they have that healthy player base that fluctuates and goes up and down and goes up and down, but at least you have a product, not a product, but you have a game that is sustainable. You have something that a lot of companies would kill for and have tried and have not succeeded.
They didn't even last 2 weeks.
That's what I mean. That's what's crazy to me from looking at Tim Sweeney, looking at Epic. It's just, it seems wasteful in a sense to me. And I don't know how to put it into other words. It's just wasteful, feels like you could almost give that to somebody else and just hope they do a better job with it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Fortnite's such a weird conversation topic in terms of, it's certainly a lightning rod, and I personally fall on both sides of the table in terms of, I can really appreciate and admire what Fortnite has done.
Yeah, 100%.
As a game.
No other game in existence has done what they have done. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah, and has done for the games industry. But on the other side of the coin, man, it's, as a single player narrative driven game lover,
yes,
the chase for the Fortnite dollars has completely not completely. I mean, some of it's to their own demise, but I will say that the chase for the live service dollars that Fortnite has generated has been definitely an overall detriment to like the games industry at large.
It is. You're totally right. Because again, we keep seeing the results of that. Concord, High Guard. Those are results of that exact thing you just described. It's all of these other companies chasing to try and steal some eyeballs, some hours, some players from Fortnite, from Roblox, and not being able to. Chasing that goal is a little bit of a suicidal attempt because you shouldn't. I don't think you're going to be able to.
Just as we're talking about this, I'm not going to count just chatting, but in terms of the games, and I'm not going to count IRL as well. In terms of games, it is the 5th. It's the 5th most watched game on Twitch right now. Yeah. You know, now granted, all these years later, you know, Counter-Strike 2. When did that game come out? Grand Theft Auto 5 came out the same year. GTA Online came out, I think, in 2014-ish.
Yeah, but this is the RP crowd. It's a whole nother set of
I mean, that's like watching TV show episodes.
Yes, 100%, 100%.
So, I did want to just before we hop off the Epic Games debacle, this article headline cracked me up. Valve veteran slams Tim Sweeney and Epic Games for laying off 1,000 people while making as much money as possible. And hey, Tim, Gabe's better at that than you. And I'm like, what? That's
the headline?
PC. Yeah. And hey, Tim, Gabe's better at that than you. I worked my ass off at Valve and I could retire today. I made more money than I'll ever make. Like that's the sub headline. I'm like, this was a PC Gamer article. And it's former Valve writer Chet Falizik.
Oh, Chet. Yes, of course. Yeah. Chet, I believe has been on YouTube a lot as well. Yes.
Yeah, he's definitely pissed. And he said other companies would now be able to hire all those high quality staff. Can someone explain this to me? Begins Falizik on TikTok. Why anybody who works at Epic should work hard? Because Epic just laid off 1,000 people and it's going to shut down Fortnite, Rocket Racing, Ballistic, and Festival Battle Stage, whatever that is. Who knows? It's not like they're a publicly traded company. It's not like there's some need to hit the stock market thing. This is Tim Sweeney. This is Tim. 1,000 people is more than the number who work at Valve.
Yeah.
So
exactly. And I don't. This is just. Again, for those who don't know, Chet is again been very, very much on YouTube for the last 2 years lately. A lot of people kind of knew him as one of the writers of Portal 2. So but the fun thing has been watching him kind of just jump on his YouTube channel now and just record shorts of him just talking about the games industry. And answering questions from fans. It's been really fun. I've been following him for a while now. And yes, that was one of the things that he said. It was fantastic. But one of the most curious things that I've read about Valve lately, and I don't know if you saw this, I didn't include it in any of our notes. It was just something I saw on the internet, on Twitter, was the revenue generated by each Valve employee on average, and comparing that to other studios. And
comparing that to other mega
companies. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like a 500% difference, right?
The only one more was OnlyFans.
Oh hell yeah! That's what I'm talking about, baby.
Yeah,
that's good. That's good. I mean, but and then you pair that with understanding how Valve actually works internally, right? Where there's no hierarchy and people kind of really just work on what they want. And then jump between projects or work on like a complete autonomy in a way that goes against any other type of company, not only in this industry, any company, right? I haven't heard of a company like that. And then just understanding and seeing this, it's like there are ways to do this in this industry that do not create this environment that we are in right now of so much job loss, so many talented, highly talented people without a job because of bad bets by executives and management. It's
Yeah,
just,
I mean, I think it's a combination, right? It's like looking at the financial aspect of it all. Like there are a lot of companies, unfortunately, that underutilize the current resources that they do
oh,
have.
100%. Yeah.
And they'll be like, it's the age old, like, we've got this one person in the role that maybe, yes, they're in a junior role, but they're amazing at their job. They come in and they bring ideas that are senior level ideas, but yet we're going to go outside of the company and hire somebody in brand new for that role that you could have just like promoted that junior person into the role. And so the reason why I say this is because I do think that there is a combination of like not maximizing your current resources to the level that you need to be successful, like viable as a company. And I think Valve has shown that they do that really, really well.
Yeah.
And it's funny to me that Valve, their business model, like they're basically the Apple of the video game
we know,
world,
and
retail
listen,
world.
we're not here sucking Valve's dick. We know they have a
Oh
lot
no,
of
well
business
no,
practices that are not really
but that's what,
cool. But
that's what's so crazy is
yeah,
that even though they are like the Apple of like, hey, you want to sell on here, you're gonna have to give us your profits up front, you know, all those types of things. Which again, like they run a business, and that's they created the business like this. If some Epic tried,
they have a
you know, they
monopoly in
yeah,
the game market on
in the
PC. They
PC
do.
gaming market, yeah,
They do.
but
They got there
you
by
would
being consumer friendly. I mean,
they're still consumer friendly. Like
yeah, as much as they
I
can,
would
I
say
guess.
it's so weird to me to see a company that has so many of the same business practices of the companies that people hate.
Yeah.
But yet you don't see that so much at Valve with Steam, you know,
Yeah.
specifically. Yes, you see like little, you know, chatterings here and there, but like overall, people love the shit out of Steam, and I feel like it is the best gaming retail experience, bar none.
Yeah.
Like
There's no other
the other
platform
digital
like
stores
it.
suck.
Yeah.
Like the PlayStation Store, I'm like, I feel like it sucks. The Xbox Store is atrocious.
Yes.
It
Oh
is
God, and don't even
god
mention it on PC. God
awful.
damn it.
Oh yeah.
The Xbox app and the Microsoft Store. Oh God, it's just
Yeah, it's so bad, and I'm like, you know, and they're actively trying to get rid of physical game sales, and I'm like, but your digital store experience
could be
blows.
yes, it blows. It should be so much better, and it's not yet.
Yeah.
How after all these years?
Yeah,
right?
exactly. They had
I
all
mean, again,
Valve had to make money only one way in terms of
yes,
like the store with Steam. They had to they were like, if we don't make the store right, we don't make money.
Yeah.
The PlayStation and Xboxes of the world, they had all this time of we're like, oh, we're propped up by all the retail video game sales and everything.
and the hardware.
So we have time to like make this experience better. But I don't feel like they've made for the most part, I feel like the experience has gotten worse. So, but maybe that's just me.
Nah, you're right. You're right. I mean, especially when you're able to compare. That's the thing. When you're able to compare and look at Steam and just look, hey, look at all the features.
Fantastic.
Look at everything that's available to you for free in the sense of like just a platform that it is. You're
the
like,
demos, all of the like, if you didn't have money and to play video games, you could go on Steam and play video games
for months
at a time. Like
even if you didn't count free to play stuff. Yeah.
I'm not counting free to play. I'm just talking about all the demos and things that they have. And it's like, and also like, yes, does Steam have a lot of shovelware games? Of course they do.
Yeah.
But the curation system, for the most part, even though I will say that over the weekend, my mom was visiting and I was taking a look at Steam, and you know, because I play a lot of zombie and survival like horror games and just like post-apocalyptic games, I you know, it says like, you might like these other zombie games, and I'm scrolling through the like, you know, the carousel.
The queue. Yeah.
And I get to one and it's like this chick on the front, and I'm like, that looks weird, that looks interesting, and I clicked on it, and immediately the trailer is playing and she is giving some guy a blowjob.
Yeah. There's a lot of porn on Steam now.
I was like, what the hell? Like, I mean,
if you were not
dick and everything, just
if you were not present during the green light days where that's before the store completely opened to everybody and everybody was able to publish on Steam, those once that happened, it was a wild time. But yeah, right now anybody can publish on Steam, and there's a lot of porn games on Steam. That's why there's a lot function that Steam built, which is you can hide these games from your library. You know what I mean? It's like these are just for
hide
you,
them
dog.
from your library. So if you,
so people don't see you have those games. Yes.
Hilarious.
Why do you think that option is there?
The Gooners are like, yes, we have been blessed by Valve. And
I have
Gabe.
my library, and then I have my library.
That's for when I put on the candles. You know, I'm putting on the music.
Exactly. These are my games, and then these are my games over here.
Wow. Well, a little did I know, and now my mom knows that. Like, hey, this is the games I can play on Steam. Okay. I immediately was like, my mom like the next day, she's like, oh yeah, I installed Steam on my computer. I'm like, no, don't do that. Okay. Well, moving
before we move on, we do a time check for you.
We got 45 minutes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Cool.
Because this, I mean, we're continuing on with the shitty news. The games are good, the news are bad. Because the next story is we've got new price changes for PS5, PS5 Pro, and the PlayStation Portal Remote Player. This was first announced by the PS blog, and it was just entitled "New Price Changes for those consoles," and then they proceeded to, with continued pressures in the global economic landscape, we've made the decision to increase the prices of PS5, blah, 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 for these are globally. And it says, we know that price changes impact our community, and after careful evaluation, we found this was a necessary step to ensure we can continue delivering innovative, high-quality gaming experiences to players worldwide. Where are the fucking games?
Where are the games, Sony?
Where are the first-party PlayStation games? I mean, you got Ghost.
Saying games. Where are the games?
You had like I no disrespect to
Justin. It's right here. It's
Yotai or whatever.
Sons of Sparta. It's right there. Sons of Sparta. You didn't play that? It's right there. The game is right there.
That freaking game pissed me off. I was like, what is this? What is this crap that PlayStation is trying to shovel to me from, like, I don't know. If I was Sony Santa Monica Studios, I'd have been like, I'm not putting my stamp on that.
It was a weird game. It looked weird. It played weird according to people who reviewed it. I have no intention of touching it because it doesn't seem like my kind of game.
It could have been.
I don't think it's what people were expecting. Yeah.
What if you would have got like and again, this is a dream world. The maker who made Hades?
Hades. It was Super Giant Games.
Super Giant Games.
Yeah.
Did they also do Pyre? That's the same
Pyre,
studio.
Bastion, same studio.
Okay, yeah, Bastion. Yeah. Okay. Again, Dream World.
Oh,
what if you got
put
them
God of War
to do,
franchise in their hands?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Are you kidding me? That would be fantastic.
That would have been like, take all my money, take my $70 money.
$70. Yes, 100%.
That game looked like it was a free to play mobile game. And again, I hate being the one that harps on graphics, but like we just came off of God of War Ragnarok, one of the greatest cinematic video game experiences, and then we transition into that.
And here's the thing: there's a way to make that type of game look really cool by having an interesting visual aesthetic, or going for pixel art or 2.5D or whatever. There's many techniques to make a game look like that, look extremely cool, and have an aesthetic that draws you
it had
in.
Nothing to do with the 2D art,
no, it was the visual aesthetic was boring. You look at that game, and that game visually looks boring.
It looks hella boring.
That's a bad thing for a 2D side scroller game.
That is what we would refer to as damaging brand equity.
100%. 100%. Yes.
Because the casual gamer out there that sees the God of War Ragnarok commercials and they're like, God damn, that game looks freaking amazing. And then they see this God of War Sparta game and they're like, damn, did they fall off? What happened to the studio?
Is this a sequel?
What is this?
Yeah, it was not well received, it seemed. And hey, we don't want to shit on anybody who put years of development behind a product, but was it what let's say, a fan base of the recent God of War franchise would expect? Probably not. Did you damage yourself, your brand, Sony's brand, whatever, by saying, hey, a new God of War game is coming out and then showing this? Probably. Because again, you're not managing expectations. You're definitely not managing expectations. Yeah.
No. People did not buy a $899 PS5 Pro to play God of War.
Actually,
party game.
Before, as we go back into the pricing conversation, I would love if you could read that one tweet you sent me, which compared the launch to now, pricing wise. I read that and I was like, oh, this is perfect.
I think this is the one. It was from, this is from at the Nintendo Goof. So this is the PS5 era from 2020 to 2026. PS5 launches at $399 for the discless, $499 for the base with a disc drive. Now it's $599 and $649. So we've gone up $149 for the disc drive version. If I'm mathing correctly, basically $150, sorry. And then $200 for the discless version. Like, what the hell? Why? You had a $100 price difference out the gate. Now you have a $50 price difference. PS5 Pro launched at $699 with no disc drive. Now that's $899. They were the first to have games jump from $60 to $70. PS Plus was hit with a 35% price hike in 2023. PS Plus prices raised again in 2025. 8 first-party studios closed since launch. Absolutely bonkers. 900 employees laid off in a single day. This was February of 2024. Concord cost $200 to $400 million and died in 14 days. Fireworks Studios acquired in 2023, shut down in 2024. Blue Point Games shut down in 2026. Another studio, Dark Outlaw Games, was shut down. Bungie was acquired for $3.6 million. They've had 2 layoffs, like pretty big layoffs since then. The Last of Us Online canceled after years of development. 3 other live service games canceled. Bins, Blue Point's game or God of War game. PSVR 2 launched it. I forgot that PSVR 2 was the thing. It was launched at $550. And then Japan Studios was dissolved. And then, that's in a nutshell everything that has happened within the PS5 era. And then, on top of that, you can say, like, what new first-party PS5 exclusive games have released since 2020? Returnal. Ghosts of Yotai.
Final Fantasy was not. Ghosts of Yotai.
Yeah, Yotai. Yeah.
I don't.
2. Anything else? First party only is all we're referring to.
I can't think of anything else that's first party.
Oh, excuse me. Astrobot.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Good.
That might
solid,
have been the
one
thing that is like, hey, Sony, good job.
Oh no, I mean,
good fucking job on investing in that, because
all of those 3 were great games.
Yeah. I'm just saying, Astrobot was the most out of left turn. Like it won Game of the Year, dude. It won Game of the Year. It's such a good game that it's. Yeah. That's not.
I still got to play it. I want to play it. I still have yet to play it.
That's not the game you know what I mean? Like talking about God of War, talking about Last of Us, talking about Uncharted, like all those big hitters, and then you get Astrobot. It's like just coming out of the left field. It's fantastic. That's the kind of Sony
Mario
that I love.
Game. Like a non-Mario platformer to win Game of the Year.
Remember when the PlayStation had funky, crazy, completely unexpected games in the PS1 and PS2 era? I want that era back. I want these crazy PS1 games back, and we're not getting it. But here's a question for you. I have a question for you, because I feel like you're the best positioned person to answer this question. After listing all of that off, right? After knowing all of that, right? And in the perspective of, okay, Justin, in 2027, the new PlayStation 6 will come out. Let's say this is a hypothetical scenario, and after everything you've listed, everything you've listed, that is what has currently been happening with Sony as a brand, as a platform. And now me telling you in 2027, PlayStation 6 is going to come out. let's ignore the RAM prices. Let's say it's an acceptable price. Let's say it's $600. Would you, knowing what you know, how Sony has been handling this, how Sony has been handling the PS5, would you be invested? Would you be a day one buyer of a PS6?
The PS6. I think right now my max price that I will go up to for a PS6 is $699. That's my peak. If it's above $699, it's an automatic no for me.
Okay.
The only way that I will be in, and I have been an early adopter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're the perfect person to answer this question because you are there.
I'm a day one.
Yeah, you would be their perfect consumer profile, the perfect player that they want to grab.
I'm aged out a little bit, but yes, in terms of like I'm a day one adopter. You know, like I'm definitely that person for PlayStation. I think this is the first time in the history of my video game career, whatever you want to call it, journey, that I would not be an automatic day one, and it would be dependent upon the games. In console launches years past, I didn't give two shits. I'm like, there's games that's coming with it. They got a couple of them.
The games will show up eventually, right? That's the way we used to think. The games will show up. We get the console now. Games will show up. We have 10 years of this thing. In those 10 years, we're going to get some games. That's what we saw with the PlayStation 1. That's what we saw with PlayStation 2. Like, we were used to, again, we got into this generational...
You get your racing game, you get a sports game, you get a fighting game. Back in the day, you would get a fighting game, you get a platforming game, and then you may get some
JRPG coming from Japan that is 100 hours long, so that's a big game for you. And you would get your wrestling games, you would get your... you know what I mean? Like, we were used to that. I really believe that doesn't exist anymore.
No, it doesn't exist, and I think that for part of the reason it doesn't exist is because the graphical leaps are not as drastic as they once were. I totally understand that. Like, well, I'm just saying, like, you know, like the fact that PS5 released and one of its biggest games technically was a PS4 game, Miles Morales Spider-Man, like that could have been on PS4. Let's get real. But and then the remasters were some of the biggest games as well.
It's what you said before. It's diminishing returns. It's diminishing returns here as well. Like we had those leaps in graphical fidelity from the 32-bit, the 16 to 32 to then 64 and the 128. And then those were incredible. Like those were eye-opening.
You had to get that console to experience this amazing new like graphical worlds that you could not experience even if the games weren't great. They were completely new experiences.
Yeah, exactly. You were like, games have never looked this good before. Games have never looked or played like this
I don't
before.
have to go to the arcade anymore to get like a,
so but when you jumped on the PS5, it was less of that, right? It was less of that magical, like this new box can do some crazy shit that the old box couldn't. Not so much anymore, right? So like when I think about that, like right now, for a piece of hardware to make me feel that way again, it would have to be something so essentially tied to how games are played, right? Either is it enemy AI or is it something you can't do today. The problem is we can do so many things that even thinking about what would be that thing that a new box would do that would make you go, oh my God, I need to get that because that's the future of games. I don't even think that can happen now. Unless we get a quantum PS5, quantum PlayStation in 2032, that's going to be the thing where, whoa. But like at this moment in time, graphics are not it anymore, right? We've touched on that. Graphics is not the thing anymore.
I mean, I still feel like we peaked with The Last of Us Part 2.
I mean, that game looks amazing. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, 100% right.
That game blows me away today. The base PS4 version can still blow me away today.
Yeah. I know we've said this before, but games look really cool and good right now. We
games don't need to look any better than this. Like Resident Evil Requiem, like I mean, we're good. We're solid. Now the only thing that may be different is like which I think that they've, for the most part, they've resolved this issue, is like enemies on screen, you know, because back in the day, it's like you could have you could have a high level of graphical polish, but you could only have a limited amount of like, you know, objects on the screen at the same time. Lately, I mean,
hey, remember that game's name always, zombie game, guy on a motorcycle, biker game.
Oh yeah. Dead Rising, right?
No, the PlayStation game. The
yeah, with Frank. It was Frank as the lead character.
What's the name of the game?
Wait, there's a PlayStation. Oh, you're talking about Days Gone?
Days Gone. Thank you. Remember?
Yeah.
That was
don't give me, if the PS6 launches with Days Gone 2, day one buy. But
you remember, like, Days Gone was still the when they showed off Days Gone, what was the first thing they showed? It was
hordes of zombies.
The hordes, right? So if you think about it, even to a very kind of recent point,
to be fair, they did look a little janky. I mean,
yes,
times,
of course, yeah.
But it was still like revolutionary, and the fact that they were getting that out of a base PS4,
that's amazing. Yeah,
pretty insane. And like, don't get me started. Days Gone, I'll never understand. So I want to go back to your question and kind of like to reframe this. If you would have told 2026 Justin that we would have had Herman Hulst at the helm of PlayStation, he's the leader of PlayStation worldwide, and we didn't have Jim Ryan, I would have been like, dude, the games are going to be top notch, amazing, narrative driven, action adventure. Like just, I'm going to be swimming in all of the games that I love. But it's so wild to me that like Herman has been the lead for like 3 years. I don't know how long it's been at this point.
I think you're right. I think it's been at least 2 years since Jim left, I think.
Yeah, it's been a while. And I understand how development cycles work, and it's like he can't undo all the things that may have been set in place.
All you can do is maybe cancel some stuff, which we know.
I mean, they canceled a lot of stuff, and maybe that's what really sucks, because it's like, is this a Herman problem, or is this a Jim Ryan end of his time, end of his tenure problem? But I would have never guessed that we would be in this space right now, where it's like, we're not just getting banger after banger of Last of Us style, Uncharted style, like, just
system sellers, right? That's the thing.
Yeah.
There have been no system sellers for the longest time.
And Xbox gets so much shit for that, but I'm like, dude, they've put out some pretty solid games over the last couple of years.
Well,
I know we're not going to talk.
They bought up a lot of studios, but still.
Well,
yes.
Yeah, I mean, hey, so did PlayStation. And
so did PlayStation. Yeah, true.
All they're doing is just canceling them, because I don't think. In terms of, I know we're not going to go deep into this, so I'll keep it quick. But like talking about PlayStation versus Xbox, PlayStation in Metacritic's 2025 publisher rankings.
Publisher rankings, right.
Sony for 2025 is number 21. Their previous year's rank was number 4 out of 37. Their best 2025 game was The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. I'm like, yeah. I mean, it's kind of crazy.
We don't even need to comment a lot on that. That alone kind of tells you what has been going on.
Which actually, wait, this is kind of weird to me, because I thought they had Death Stranding 2 on the beach. They had Ghost of Tsushima.
That was exclusive, right? Wait. Wasn't Death Stranding 2 not exclusive? It was on both consoles when it came out, and then is coming to PC now. Was it just PlayStation?
It was just PlayStation. Yeah. What are these rankings? Actually, now I'm a little confused, because it's like their best 2025 game. I'm like, no, Death Stranding 2 on the beach, Ghost of Yotai would have been great. But anyways, we're gonna just go off their rankings alone, and the fact that
we'll trust it for now.
I want to say. Yeah, I don't trust it as far as I could throw it, but like Xbox was ranked number 4, I believe, 5, and their previous year's rank was 9. So I'm like, what? That's crazy to me. Okay. Well, I think we can move past the PS. I mean, it's an unfortunate situation.
It's an unfortunate situation all around, I think. Yeah.
Yes.
It's bad times. The games are good, the news are bad. The main platforms are hurting. And hey, boys,
I was thinking about getting a PS5 Pro, and now I'm like, no thanks. Not at $900.
Actually, you should have done that when it came out, because that would have, unbeknownst to you, would have been an investment. You would actually be saving money, which is crazy.
Well, it's now,
the first time in history.
My PS5 is worth $649.
I was about to say, if both you and me decided to now sell our PlayStation 5s, it would probably be the first time in history where a secondhand console would be worth more than what it was when we bought it.
It would definitely be the first time in history. I wanted. Oh, there was such an interesting article that I found. I just want to refer to this real quick, and
sure.
I would love if you could show this. Okay, so it says past PlayStation consoles used to be affordable at this point in their life cycle. The PS5 price hikes aren't just bucking traditional console gaming trends; they're turning console gaming into a luxury. Yeah. And so this is a history of PlayStation price drops in terms of $2026. So technically, the PS1. In $2026 would have cost you $642. But at the stage that it's at right now, which would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years later, it was like $195.
Oof.
Yeah. The PS2 would have launched at around $568. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years later, it was around $200. Damn. Even the PS3, which would have launched at in $2026,
was it
was like basically $9. Yeah, it's right under $1,000. It's fucking crazy. But even that, the PS3, it's 6 years later. 1, 2, 3, 4, $449.
Okay.
Wild.
It is just, yeah. We're crazy. We're in crazy times right now. Listen, remember.
Unprecedented.
Unprecedented. We used to have the conversation of PC gaming is expensive because the hardware to get into PC gaming is expensive. Consoles were the entryway for you to get into gaming for cheaper, for an easier time, because you don't have to put them together.
Yeah.
No longer is that. Now we are reaching, and I know it's caused by hardware costs that are being ballooned by because of AI. We all know this. But the reality of it is right now is that, like, not only is it expensive to build or make a computer, a PC, whatever, now not even console gaming is an alternative because the prices are getting so up there that they are competing with computers. That is insane.
Could you imagine as a we'll even be generous, a 12-year-old kid right now going to your parents?
No.
And again, I'm like, and or saving.
I can tell you that.
You'd be saving for a decade.
Yeah. Like right now, if my kids who are 12, who are 13 would come to me and be like, hey, Dad, for Christmas, can we get the new console?
Oh, that's true. Right? I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
The Christmases that we've had, right? Where we got the new console because it cost $200, $300 back then.
Yes. Yeah.
That reality is no longer a thing. You're not going to get the kid opening a Nintendo 64 for Christmas video because parents not only are struggling to fucking make ends meet, but like,
exactly, yes.
You can't drop $1,000 on a thing like this. It's just not tenable. It's just impossible.
I don't. It's such a weird move in my opinion because
I have a question for you. I have a question for you though, and this is what we're going to see. So as we know, these costs are ballooned because of the cost of the resources, the hardware to make these consoles, to make computers, RAM prices. Now CPU prices are going up as well. Chips, anything of that ilk, because of AI, is ballooned way out of proportion. Right?
Yes.
My question to you is: do you think that these companies, Sony, Xbox, Microsoft, if they're still in the hardware making business, which apparently they are, if it comes to a time where this situation changes, and let's hope that hardware prices go back to a more normal, a more stable, a more affordable price. Do you think that now that we've been kind of used to these enormously ballooned prices on consoles, that they would go back, or that they would just stick to it because the margins would be so much bigger for them, and they are already kind of, especially for Microsoft, I guess, their hardware sales are just not doing it, right? So do you think they would actually go down in price, or they would stick to it?
I think it depends on what they want. Like if they say, for Microsoft, for example, I think at this point, unless they completely change the dynamic, that change the narrative on their their hardware, to me, it's better for them to say, like, whatever our optimal price point is in terms of actually, because most of the time you always hear for decades that like the hardware doesn't make money. Like their margins on the hardware sold is like 8% margins.
No,
like
you want install base to sell software.
Yes.
And in this case, subscriptions as well, right?
Yeah, and that's why you sold them at a loss most of the time, or near loss, until like you optimize the manufacturing and all that kind of shit.
And hence why so many different versions of the same model, because it was just we found a cheaper laser reader, we found a cheaper tray, we found a cheaper whatever, right? Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, so I think at this point, Xbox, they're probably going to have their 40 million user install base, because that's the 40 million diehard Xbox. They bleed green. And so to me, it's not worth it for them to say, well, we can sell it at a slightly lower margin to see if we can get to that 100 million install base, because I don't think it's going to happen unless we run into, which we're seemingly on track, we're on trajectory to basically have a repeat of the PS3, Xbox 360 era right now. That's what it's feeling like, because it feels like PlayStation
actually
is, they're high on the horse. They're like, we can do no wrong, and I'm like, y'all are fucking up left and right. In my opinion, for somebody that's been there since 1995, it's a crazy thing to say, but in terms of PlayStation, if they price it at what's being rumored at, like,
so let's say
$699 on the low end. It's rumored that $699 would be like that is like they've stretched every little manufacturing.
We know from a leaker. I don't know if you saw. I think you linked this, that the parts list of parts for the PlayStation 6 would come out to around $700, right? And we're not even putting in what packaging, shipping. Yeah, exactly. None of that, right?
Yeah.
Well, so that's the thing. If it's let's say it's 700, and let's say they're not willing to sell it at a loss because times are tough, right? Would it be 800, 900? Let's say $1,000. Crazy, I know, but let's say $1,000 or $899. Exactly.
That's what I'm feeling.
That's what you're feeling realistically, right? Yeah, I can totally see that. Now and then, let's say the hardware prices come back down. Do you see them changing or sticking to that $899? I don't think they would. I think if they would,
it's hard to go down,
right?
You know?
But that's the thing. It's hard to go up, but it's even harder to go down for these companies. I think it's like if they would launch at $899 and still would sell. We know this is true. Yeah, we know this is true. They would still sell.
Yeah. We'll sell some, yeah.
And even in the craziest of situations, if the world is not on fire, maybe even be another situation like the PS5, and maybe even run out of initial stock, because that could happen, right?
Yeah.
And then hardware components prices would go down. To me personally, I would not see them come down out of that price. I think they would keep it. And maybe we would have another situation of back in the day generation where maybe they do change the price up a couple years after, right?
But the crazy thing is we'd be only getting down to price points of the highest, higher than the highest price points.
Yes, exactly. Now,
granted, I understand like inflation. That's why the PS3 was basically $1,000, because that thing was, I think it was $699 out the gate or something like that.
when it was announced.
Yeah, that was which again, Xbox 360, Xbox did everything right in that,
just knocking it out of the park.
Initial like early stages of that console generation. PlayStation eventually caught up because the games were excellent. Like they had some of the most banger games of all time towards the tail end of that PS3 console generation. But yeah, interesting times. So Andre, I think we should wrap up this week's episode of the podcast with I'm curious to know, what have you been playing lately?
Oh God, I'm ashamed to admit this, but I've kind of fallen into a hole lately for these past 2 weeks that I was not expecting to fall into. You know that I used to be a avid League of Legends player, which has since completely swore off that genre of game, right? I have not gone back at all. I have gone back and not stuck with it. I've gone back on request of friends and people who I sometimes play games with. And a couple of times I have had said, yeah, sure, I'll install it. We'll play together. And in those 2 times, I've immediately uninstalled it again because it's really not a game for me anymore. Unfortunately, I don't know why. We're going back to talk about Valve. I've been getting into Deadlock lately.
Oh, Deadlock. Okay.
Yes.
Well, Deadlock looks cool. The League of Legends, you can count me out.
You know what?
I'm never going to install League of Legends.
Listen, I'm going to be such a basic bitch right now. I literally jumped into Deadlock because it looks cool. I'm not even joking. I saw those new characters. I saw how the new map looks. And I was like, this game looks fucking cool. So I just, it's a shooter as well. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I already had an invite. I had tried it out initially when it first opened up. And I understood, oh shit, this is a MOBA. It's still a MOBA. And so I thought it was not for me, and I left it. And now I jump back in because, again, it really just looks cool. There's Werewolf Lady, and I was like, fuck. And
you and the
man,
werewolf.
oh yeah, I know. Man, oh man, does Valve have something really neat in this game? And it's even hard for me to put into words exactly because, like, even I can tell you I've played a total of 80 hours, I think, or 60 hours, and some of those have been in the beginning. Yeah. So I think realistically, we were talking about maybe 20, 30 hours since the 2 past weeks.
That's a lot of hours in 2 weeks.
It is a lot of hours. Again, it's a MOBA. It is a competitive game.
Are you playing by yourself or
no? I'm playing with a friend. Playing with a friend who unfortunately also I kind of dragged him down with me.
Oh no, you poor friend.
I didn't.
What's the latest you've stayed up playing?
4 a.m.
Oh my god.
There is something.
DGen hours.
There is something really rewarding about that game, just game loop and shooting mechanics, movement mechanics. That game's movement mechanics are insane. And again, I think the reason why I got hooked on it is because, on contrary to a normal MOBA like League of Legends, like Dota, which is that isometric perspective, 2D kind of situation, here we're talking about 3D. Here we're talking about not only horizontally, but verticality. We're talking about you can go up. And that simple little thing opens up that game in a way that tickles the neuron. It activates the neuron in me. And it just, the monkey brain, the lizard brain is just so happy when you can jump and slide and crouch slide and wall jump. And suddenly you're going 100 miles an hour and you went from one lane to the other lane and you got there and you joined a fight and because you just played the movement mechanics well. Like, there's so many aspects of that game that once you kind of stop and try and learn it and try to come to its terms, it's very rewarding. You know what I mean? Like that system of how much you put in, here's all that feedback, back to you now. And the neurons just activate and you go like, oh, I like this feeling. And so the characters are really well built. They have a lot of personality. The whole game visually now has a lot of personality since the last update where they kind of really, it seems like they're getting ready, Justin. They're really getting ready to.
Because the game's in early access still, right?
Oh, it's not even early access. This game is closed beta in a sense where people can only get in by invite, but it's not really hard to get an invite to this game. So technically the game is kind of open to play while not really being considered published. It's not published. It's not released. It's still...
Can you stream this game now?
Yes, you can. You've been able to for the longest time. And listen, technically it's like this game is out. I'm looking it up. But it's not out yet. But it will be very soon. It's kind of what I'm feeling it.
So there's 12,000 people watching right now.
Oh, it lately has been gone into the... Or? I mean, for a closed game that you have to get invited to, only available on PC and on Steam specifically.
Yeah.
100,000 players is not... No, but it's been reaching 100... Oh, like lately, it's been going up to yeah. It's been gaining steam, haha, and it's just
nicely done.
Again, it's really hard for me to talk about this game because there are so many aspects of it that, again, it's a very deep game. It's a MOBA. It's a very deep game in many aspects, mechanics. Again, like I said, movement, macro of the game, of how the game is. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that does not even involve your character. It involves what's going on around you. There's many layers to this game that I'm not even good at and don't understand, but Valve has once again made something that has that juice that is hard to pinpoint, but that has grabbed me wholesale. Like I am completely owned by Deadlock right now. It's kind of all I can think about playing. It's all I play when I have time. It's probably going to become a disease, Justin. I'm just letting you know now.
Have you gotten like Arc Raiders has gotten a boot?
Yes. Wow.
I didn't think Arc Raiders.
This is the same person I play Arc Raiders. It's the same group I play Arc Raiders with. One of the people in that group is a very, very good friend of mine. Okay. He was the one I pulled into Deadlock, unfortunately, but it was not. It's not like it was it's not like it was hard to do because he was a seasoned Dota player, so he was kind of like in his home stretch. But we have both been kind of just grabbed by this game, and it's hard when you find a game that does something for you that no other game out right now does, which was what was happening with Arc Raiders at that time. Remember that I told you, like, it had this world that was so fun to be in that everything else kind of was great, but to me, almost just being in that world was enough, right?
Yeah.
And this has kind of that same aspect. Just being in that game, the visuals, the characters, the voice lines, the everything around it is very inviting. It's very mysterious. It's very well built. And then mechanically, once you give it to yourself, give yourself time to learn, and it's a game you need to learn. You know what I mean? It's not a game you pick up and play. It's a game that
any MOBA for me would be like, okay, I'm about to invest not only time, but I'm going to be on YouTube looking up strategy guides on how to play it. And like,
what do you think I've been doing? And in the last 2 weeks, I've learned a lot about this game. I've watched a lot of videos. I've learned a lot about how to play, and just it's got me. It's definitely got me. We'll check back in on Deadlock.
How do you get
next
invited
episode?
To this? Like,
just through Steam. If you have access to the game, you can invite 3 friends and so on and so forth. So if you invite someone, they can invite 3, and then they can invite
you first to the game. Can you say
who invited me first to Deadlock? This was again when the game got announced came out. I don't even remember. I don't know how if you can even check who invited you, but I don't remember. That's probably a friend of mine. Yeah, probably a friend of mine. Because again, all you needed to do was get in, and then as soon as you're in, you invite 3 buddies, and then they invite 3 buddies, and then they invite. It's just a pyramid scheme.
Is like there's
inverse pyramid scheme.
There's no way, like if you, I'm on Deadlock Steam page, and there's no. Like,
if you go to their website, it's like they invite only. You gotta get invited.
Well, no, access is currently limited to friend invite via our play testers.
Yeah. Technically, we're play testers. And I'll tell you what.
That's so cool.
I tell you what. And another thing that, again, it's... Listen, we can talk whatever we want about Valve and how they have some shitty business practices, because they do. They have some other business practices that, to me, in today's current climate, are hard to understand. This game, Justin, has some of the best characters in a multiplayer game that I've come across, both in visuals, voice acting, and just overall vibes, there's not one skin in the game. There's not one way yet to spend money in this game. If I believe, I put my hand on the fire that if this was any other company, any other company that had this game running with 100,000 concurrent players every night,
they'd be monetizing the shit out of them
with incredibly like attractive and like personality wise, just like really fun characters. You would have 1,000 skins for each, right? Costing like not even one right now. And I bet once the game is out, we will get that. But I'm just impressed that it's not even here already. Because trust me, if it was, Valve would just be printing some money. Valve would just be printing some money, dude. Because come on.
And okay, what you're saying is once they do release, we're gonna have to put you on watch. Your wife's gonna be like, "Hey, I'm closing off the bank account to
take my credit card away, dude." Yes, it's gonna be a problem. God. No, but that's kind of what I've been getting into. I played a little bit more Resident Evil 9 for sure, but Slay the Spire 2. It's continuing to be a really nice end of night chill, like co-op with the buddies, kind of go for a run. It's still an incredibly difficult game. We've been in a bad run lately of just losing runs, but it is very satisfying to have a game that is so deep that you can keep learning, like keep discovering little ways in how you improve your own gameplay. And that's to the point where I am now learning from my friends and other sources, like strategies and things you can do in the game that I have not even heard of. And I've played a lot of the first game. As you know, I've spent many hours in the first game. So like still and Slay the Spire 2 is, let's be honest, more Slay the Spire 1. Nothing wrong with that.
That's
completely
great.
Nothing wrong. Like you said, with Soros.
Your third game,
sure,
go
nuts.
wild, have fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
But your first sequel, you're giving us more of what we like.
Cut that development time down. Don't worry about adding all this new shit. Just make the thing you did great, make it a little bit better, and fix some of the things you didn't do so great. I'm like, why is this a problem?
So. Slay the Spire 2 has still been a mainstay. Still having a lot of fun. Still have a couple characters that I have not even finished a run with yet. So still a lot to discover there. Still a lot to unlock and still having a lot of fun with that game. Justin, that game is just.
I've got to get into Slay the Spire.
You have. Listen, if there's a game that I can tell you'll be playing for years on end, every once in a while coming back, it's Slay the Spire. It's been that game for me. The first game has been that game for me where I think it's one of the games in my entire like games journey that I think I've come back to the most. You know what I mean? Like when I first discovered it, played it a shit ton for a long time. Then of course, new stuff comes up and you forget about it and you jump onto other things. But Slay the Spire 1 was something that I kept coming back to. Just like it felt like comfort food. Right?
I can see that. Yeah.
And Slay the Spire 2 is just that. It's just that, baby. It's even better comfort food. Guess what? It's got cornbread. And then besides that cornbread, it's got really nice barbecue sauce. And then now the ribs, dude. Oh, fuck the ribs. It's just, it's so good. I would highly encourage you get into it. It's not that expensive. It's a great Steam Deck game. I bet. I don't have it, but dude, come on. It's so easy to get into that I'm like, okay, you know what? I would say this.
I wish I would have got that over the game that I bought that we talked about a couple weeks ago. The Into the Dead, Our Darkest Days. Yeah. I should have made the decision on Slay the Spire 2.
You're not. Hey, it's not too late. It's not too late. You can still do it. I'm just saying. I think this is one of the few games where I feel comfortable saying like everybody should try this game. I feel like anybody can really get something out of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
no, I agree. I mean,
that's what I'm saying out there. If you haven't tried Slay, even Slay the Spire 1. If you haven't ever played Slay the Spire at all, go buy the first one. You're still giving money to the devs, and it's still a fantastic game.
If this was still, if this podcast was releasing during the spring sale, I would have said go buy it right now because it's $6.99.
Fuck it, go buy it right now. Anyway, it's what, $12?
Yeah.
You can do $12. How much is Slay the Spire 1?
Yeah, you'd have to. I don't have Steam up right now, but
I'll tell you how much
I would
it is.
assume. Yeah.
Oh wait, actually, prices are different. But whatever. It's probably $12, which in reality is like $8, which is kind of like $5. Just fucking, you know what I mean.
Let me see. Let me look on in my store, which I am in the US. It's $24.99. It's the
$24.99. Okay.
Just buy Slay the Spire 2. Like, do not get Slay the Spire 1. What's going on, man? Is that your brother?
It is. Vou editar. Já não és a
Your
primeira
brother's
pessoa
like,
a
hey.
aparecer. Já tem 3 pessoas para editar.
He said it's time to do some stuff. Okay, well.
Oh, no, it's fine. He was calling me to get some dinner. But now I am actually curious. I want to know how much it is. Sorry. We're not getting away with this.
$25.
22 for me. 22. Actually, both games are $22 for me.
Yeah, they're the same price. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, just
fantastic.
Just
make your choice.
Spire 2 because you can play with your friends at the very least.
That is true. And you can do that in one as well, but you would have to install a mod. So get 2 because you can just do that right off the bat. It's a lot of fun. If you need,
and you're getting a more refined version of one anyway.
Yes, you are. And not only that, if you want one of those, if you want a game, if you play games with friends, and if you want that like end of night, like we're all done playing our competitive games or our Fortnites or our Warframe.
Get our Deadlock out the way.
Or Deadlocks, exactly. Once you're done with all that and you just want to like kind of, it's perfect for that. Get your friends on there, play a couple runs. It's just such a good game. 10 out of 10. Go buy it. Support the devs. I cannot say that enough.
No, I'm with you. I haven't even played Slay the Spire 2 yet, but I would definitely say, based off the pedigree of Slay the Spire 1, it's going to be a 10 out of 10 amazing game. And yes, it will be perfect for the Steam Deck because I played the shit out of Slay the Spire 1 on Switch, and it was phenomenal. Took it with me everywhere. So, well, Andre, I think we are coming to the end.
We're coming to the end. We are.
Episode 2.
Episode 2.
I do want to just give one shout out.
Sure.
So I have not got into much in terms of gaming wise outside of I'm continuing to play Resident Evil 9, not 7.
Good. How close are you, by the way? Because we still have a spoiler cast to record. I just want to understand.
I mean, I am in the Leon section of Raccoon City.
Where are you like specifically right now? Because no spoilers for me. I'm good.
Oh, well, this is not really much of a spoiler.
Yeah, exactly. At this point, I think we're fine.
Well, I just got gas for the generator.
Okay.
I just bought some insane-ass chainsaw welding dudes that were ridiculously OP. And yeah, that scene was wild. I loved it. It was so much fun. Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. But I wanted to give a shout out to a demo that I played.
Oh.
I'll keep this brief because the demo wasn't super long, but the game is called Replaced. I'm not sure if you've heard about this one.
That game looks talk about a game that looks cool. That game looks so cool. Holy shit. It looks
so awesome.
I'm very curious about that game. Wait, you said there's a demo?
There's a demo, yeah. And it was a 30-minute demo. It was not long at all. I played it last night. It was literally, my playtime was 29 minutes.
Okay. Plan for next episode. I will play that demo. We'll talk about it. Discuss because I am very curious about that game.
The game comes out on April 14th, by the way. So it's a game that's going to be releasing here relatively soon. But I will just say briefly, if you like cyberpunk, and I mean that
aesthetic, that genre.
Yeah, that aesthetic. If you like Blade Runner, if you like Blade Runner, you're definitely going to enjoy at least some part of this.
Okay.
And if you like, post-apocalyptic dystopian game settings, it's really cool. And the gameplay is actually a lot more fun. It reminded me so much of playing the Arkham games back in the day with the gameplay. In a 2D side scroller way.
Okay.
You're button mashing, you're getting combos, and you're countering. It felt very reminiscent of what I would be doing as Batman, just beating the crap out of dudes in Arkham Knight,
that sounds
Arkham
fun.
City. Yeah. So the gameplay was pretty cool.
Okay.
And the visual style, to your earlier point,
sold me completely.
God of War Sparta, whatever.
Sparta, yeah. But taken to
this is what
this is what they should have done. Yeah.
A unique visual style that only
in a 2D side scroller. In a 2D side scroller, it's doable. Here's the example. But still, it's man, that game certainly looks amazing. Yeah.
It looks amazing, and I will say my 30 minutes with the game, I really enjoyed my time with it. I was a little confused on what the hell was happening. I don't know if they dropped me. I think they dropped me into the early stages of the game. I don't really know. I didn't get any. There was no cutscene to start the game. It was literally you just it had no context. And I have not watched any trailers. I'd heard about it on Twitter. People were like, "Oh my god, this replace game looks so cool!" Like, and it's because it is one of those games like you just show a trailer.
Oh, you watch a GIF. You watch a GIF of that.
GIF, and you're like, "Damn, that looks cool."
What is this? I must know. Yeah,
it does look cool. The visuals stunning. So just a shout out to Sad Cat
Let's see if maybe we can talk more about this game next time, because
definitely play the demo.
Definitely play the demo, but maybe we'll see if we pick it up at release. Okay.
Yes.
Well, Justin, thank you. And it's been a pleasure as always. We're gonna see you all back here for episode 3. Yeah, episode 3. Yeah, I keep fucking up with, because I forgot we did an episode 0. We didn't start with episode 1. So yes, this is episode 3, and coming out 2 weeks, as you know. Thank you so much for either listening or watching or both. Drop us a like so that the show gets a little bit more out there. Give us a review on Spotify if you find this on Spotify. And again, just we appreciate you chatting, or not chatting. Appreciate you watching or listening. And if you want to, drop a question, drop anything, drop a topic, whatever, drop it in the comments. We will read them, and if it's something cool, we'll bring it up on the show next episode.
Talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're here to do. It's to talk about some shit, right? Justin, thank you, and to everybody watching, we'll say bye-byes, and we'll see you next time. All right.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.